Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Lydia Hearst about Slayers, which is going to be in select theaters and VOD October 21st. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to chat with you. I mean, it's spooky season, and this is a movie that is spooky. It's
a little bit spooky, but it's also fun.
Absolutely. I think they go hand in hand. It's spooky season. Are you a big fan of... I see the Chucky thing behind you, which is awesome.
Yeah, my house, I mean, it might be spooky season for the rest of the world. In my household, I think it's kind of spooky season year round.
All the time, yeah. I'm a huge fan. So that's like my first question. There's a lot happening kind of in this, and there's some horror components and with Slayers. What's it like working on a film like this, knowing that the landscape and the appetite for like horror culture and thriller and supernatural is so big right now? Like, I'm curious about that.
Well, I'm actually an avid horror fanatic myself. So, watching horror movies is what I do. Acting in horror movies is also what I do. I'm constantly consuming horror, be it through, the cinematic universe, literature, true crime podcasts, kind of everything in between, that whole world. And it's exciting. And to get to work on a project like this, it's not your straight cut horror with slasher and gore. Of course, there's a little bit of that going on, but we also got to have fun and play with this. And it's, not just one leading lady or leading man, it's an ensemble cast. And we all got to be really good friends, play with these characters and these roles, poke fun at ourselves, poke fun at, social media influencers and the like. And it was fun.
It's funny you mentioned that though, about like horror and like true crime and crime drama, because like I'm a 90s kid. So those projects were like always around. Like there was always horror movies and true crime and everything. But like it is so like big now.
I know, it's so prevalent today. It really is. But it's nice to see so many people embracing the horror genre, because as I said earlier, it's not just about the slashers. It's not just about the blood and the guts and the terror. There actually are all of these subgenres and a little bit of something for everybody. And it's fun.
I find that interesting too, because, and I think this movie does a very good job at that, where it's got the combination of like the kind of traditional tropes of horror and everything, but there's like the new kind of thing where like people are scary. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like
exactly.
Social media influencers are scary.
Right. They can be. Yeah, they are full on, and I applaud them for the work and the efforts that they do. I could not do that, but it was fun to play that type of person and someone who is really putting themselves out there and so social media obsessed and into it, which ultimately these people, especially my character Liz in particular, being so hyper obsessed with the influence and being an influencer and wanting to not just be famous, but infamous. I mean, it's really Liz's choices that leads to the ultimate chaos and demise. Like, it's just, my character's not that great, actually. There's not a lot of redeeming qualities about Liz, but it was really fun to play someone like that.
An amazing cast that you got to work with. Malin, Thomas, Abigail. I mean,
it was
cast.
incredible. It was really great. Everybody was so nice, and it was great to collaborate with everyone on this, and not just work with everyone, but get to become friends with people. And that, I think, really helped benefit the project, because we all got along. We were all having fun. We were all hanging out between takes, on and off set, and it was it was great. And I'm actually excited to see everyone tomorrow night, because we're premiering the film here in Los Angeles, the world premiere at Screamfest, which is pretty awesome.
Amazing. And that's another thing too. It's interesting because the film festival has always been around and everything. And it's funny because there's like documentaries about like the evolution of the film festivals, saying how it started as like a way to get your film out, and maybe your film could get purchased, and now it's kind of more of this kind of celebration and networking and connection. I feel like the networking though had always had to be there though.
The networking, especially with the Scream Fest festival, it's actually the longest running horror film festival in the United States. We're in our 22nd year of it, and what's incredible, films like Paranormal Activity got discovered there, and just so many not underground horror, but sort of micro budget indie horror that gets to premiere, gets to have its moment. And a festival like this is great because the genuine and authentic fans come out, the directors come out, the producers come out, the actors and talent and writers come out. And it's not just to premiere and show their project. Everybody comes out every night, every day to support one another, which is really remarkable and really great to see, because no one's in competition with one another. They're there to elevate the projects and support and applaud the art and the craftsmanship that went into all of it. So I love the festival. It's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you understand what you get where, like, you understand my point about like the celebration of the product. That's the, sure. which is great. General question, Lydia. I mean, did you always know that like storytelling was something you were gonna maybe do, even as did you always want to be a storyteller and like an actor? Or
I did. No, I always wanted to do something in the entertainment field. I don't think I knew what exactly it was when I was young, but I knew I always wanted to do something. I mean, as a little girl, my mom was acting and she was doing the John Waters movies. So I think I was in like kindergarten when my mom was filming Crybaby. And to be on that set was so magical, so incredible. I mean, the costumes, the music, the actors, it was amazing. So to see that as a child, I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to live in this world. Granted, my world's a little bit darker than that, but because I do horror, but it's still just as fantastical and fun and exciting. And I get to play every single day at work and do what I love. And I feel incredibly fortunate.
It's funny because you're someone that like is in horror movies, but also loves horror.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious because I bring this up a lot. I don't like bringing up the person because, well, it's not on YouTube or anything, but I interviewed someone once who's in like one of the scariest movies like I've ever seen. And,
wow.
His scenes are like really scary, and like he can't do horror. Like, isn't that funny though? That's funny, right?
It's interesting because I've definitely worked with some incredible like horror movie icons and incredible talent, and it's always interesting if they're not necessarily the biggest fans of the genre, but they love working in the genre, and what they actually bring to it elevates the project itself, because they might be more theater-based actors and have sort of a literary take on things. So instead of just playing a character straightforward and what's written on the page, they actually will breathe a deeper meaning and deeper life into either the hero or heroine or the villain that you might not have initially imagined that person being when it's just written on the page. So it's interesting when you find that balance of the people who are the fans who love the genre and the other ones who might not know much about it, but at the same time, it can bring something new and different to it, which is pretty great.
Absolutely. Have you been doing have you been doing a couple of horror movies a night? Like I do one every night in October.
Well, I just had a baby not too long ago, so I don't get to watch that many movies. But I have the last 2 nights I've been at Scream Fest, and I've gotten to watch some of the movies there, which has been pretty great. There was
so awesome.
Matriarch on the opening night, which was absolutely fantastic, and that comes out next week on Hulu. And last night I was at The Loneliest Boy in the World, which is not your straightforward horror movie. It's actually a horror comedy, and I found myself getting a little emotional at the end, and I was surprised with how I felt, because it was not your typical horror. It was really just enchanting and beautiful. So I highly recommend that one.
It's funny you mentioned those two projects. I guess it's the time of the press because I literally just did interviews
for
both those projects.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like Slayers, Lowest Point in the World, Matriarch.
Well, they're amazing movies, so I loved them.
It's spooky season.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. I know later there's a documentary coming out, Life with Chucky, which I'm really excited to see because, of course, I grew up with Chucky. And
the pillows in the background.
Yes, of course. Pillows in the back. Upstairs, I actually have one of the Scream-used Tiffany dolls in my house.
Oh, my God. You see,
I really love horror.
I think that franchise, the fact that it went from, like, being the first one where it wasn't funny at all.
No,
in my opinion,
it's amazing. It's not funny, but it's amazing.
But then like still kind of keeping the scary moments and then being like funny. Like, I think that's just the brilliance of it. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. That character is incredible. And I'm ashamed to admit, I only just realized that Chucky, the doll itself, is actually based off of a real doll.
Yeah.
Robert the doll. I did not know that. That is, I love horror and all things the like, but I don't think I would ever actually go.
Well, as a kid though, when you watch those movies as a kid or see the trailer for it, you're just like, oh, evil doll. And then you realize you realize he's trapped in a doll.
Exactly. Then you start looking around your room and you're like, oh, I have some dolls here. Hold on. Hold up.
Well, I find it very interesting too. Yeah, those are great. There's some movies though that like you're never not gonna watch around spooky season. Let's be honest.
Of course,
yeah,
of course. I mean, obviously, I always do a marathon of the Halloween movies. I'm really excited for the new installment that's coming out. And then I love the kids movies, Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town. I like all of it.
And you know what else they can watch starting the 21st? Slayers. Gotta make that
part
of it.
Slayers, yes, yes.
Well, before we wrap up, when they get to watch Slayers, what are you hoping they'll get out of it, takeaway wise?
Oh my God. I just hope people have fun. I mean, it's very rare in any genre that you get to work on a project that's so unique like this one. I mean, it was amazing what Asher did with the script and the characters. I mean, he took the classic vampire lore and he completely reimagined it. And it's pretty exciting to see what he did, what he took from it, and how he just sort of started anew with the whole legacy of vampires. And it was really cool. And so for me, I just hope people enjoy the experience and are all in for the ride and have fun, because we all had a lot of fun making this film. So I'm excited it's finally coming out.
Absolutely. Lydia, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you on Popternative. Yes, the film October 21st. You have Instagram, right? That's where people can keep up to date with everything.
Yes, I'm easy to find. Just my name, Lydia Hearst.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. Previous episodes. Until next time, this is Lydia Hearst and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.